Here's one for you. Have you ever gone into a car park attached to a shop? Or you popped into Mackie D's to get a Big Mac and large fries? Got back in your car, driven off, and a few days later you get some shitty letter through the post trying to fine you for parking in that spot because you apparently breached the terms and conditions of where you were. Oh, I have, a few times. What a pain in the arse, isn't it? Well, let's talk about it, shall we, right now? Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing alright. Let me know what you're up to in the comments below. Good to hear from you. And I hope you're going to have a good day. I'm trying to get these things out in the morning again. So, you know, a full day's worth of coverage and as many people can see them as possible. Now, I've had a few days off, as I said in the first video of the day. And one of the things that happened, well, 3 days ago, looking at this screen, I got a message from someone who was in a bit of a quandary, and I said that I would deal with it that day when I got home. Well, I didn't. I do apologise for that. It didn't slip my mind. It's just one of those things. What I'm going to do when I've done this video, I'm going to put a link for it in the person's comment so he gets it and hopefully it will help him out. But get a load of this. I'll read it to you. Hi, I'm really in need of some advice. I was persuaded by an ex-friend of mine to take out a car in my name, and he has left me with 12 parking tickets. After taking the car off him and selling it off, I was away when all this was going on, and when I got back, I'm left with loads of bailiff letters and in loads of debt. I wanted some advice on how this could be resolved, as I was not the driver of the car and was not the one who caused all of these parking fines. So basically, person's ex-friend has gone and parked somewhere they shouldn't at least 12 times, and the whole problem's been ignored or not dealt with because this poor sod's been unaware of it, and they've ended up in a situation where it's gone to the bailiffs. Now, I've said what bailiffs are actually coming after you, and they've said Bristow and Souter, Welling and DCBL. DCBL are a pain in the arse. I'm actually dealing with them myself at the moment, and they could be like a bad smell. DCBL generally, when a ticket or a parking invoice isn't paid, it will get moved over to DCBL, and they can get quite ratty with you, but there are ways of dealing with it. Yeah, when I get home, I'll send a list. So I said I would help them, and hopefully this help will come now. Well, these parking tickets are funny things. Now, there's two different types. If you park in a residential high street with restrictions and you go over your time or anything like that, and you're ticketed by a traffic warden employed by the local council, to my knowledge, you have to pay those. There's no out. You don't have a choice. You can get in all sorts of trouble if you don't. So cough up and get it sorted. There are laws in place for those where you have like a 10-minute grace period and all that sort of thing now. So, you know, that's a different kettle of fish. What I want to talk about is parking, what are effectively invoices. If you go and park in a private car park on private land, monitored by cameras, and end up with a ticket because you overstayed or breached some other condition you didn't know about, these are the ones where, you know, you need to kick up a stink. What generally happens, you have a supermarket, you have a fast food establishment or something like that, and the parking or the car park area is managed by a private company who set a load of terms and conditions. I was in one today, KFC at Gatwick Airport. You go in and you have to buy a ticket. Sorry, not buy a ticket. Get a ticket out of the machine, and then you've got an hour's stay in the car park. And what you have to do, you have to go and buy something, and they scan your ticket in the actual shop, and then you come out and then you leave the car park. If you don't do that, validate your ticket, you'll get a charge notice through the post. All it is an invoice When you drive into a car park, what they're assuming you are doing is agreeing to the terms and conditions of the car park. You have no idea what they are because you've driven in there, and inevitably the signage isn't that great. And then, you can get caught out if you're not careful. Supermarkets are like it, they're all like it. Now, what you have to do, and even when it goes as far as a bailiff or a debt collection agent, you can still do this. They have to prove that you're liable. No ifs, no buts. They have to prove that you're liable. Burden of proof, they call it. Now, you usually have a few chances to cancel the ticket, get rid of it. The first one is speak to the landowner. If you know where the ticket was accrued or where the person got the ticket, find out the owner of the land and speak to them. I'll give you an example. In 2008, no, not 2008, what am I talking about? It was 2018. My vehicle that I owned at the time got busted for parking on an apparent area of a petrol forecourt where I wasn't allowed to park. I didn't know that. There was no signs there. I parked there many times. I got out, went for a pee, got back in and drove away. Next thing I know, I got a ticket. I dealt with it at the time, or so I thought, and fairly recently it came in and they're trying it on again. So they never let go unless you absolutely prove your case. So anyway, speak to the landowner, explain the circumstances and say, are you able to drop this for me? Go round the parking company. You can appeal, particularly if the parking company has breached any industry rules. You can actually appeal. The problem is if you appeal and lose and they take you to court, it can be held against you in a court of law. So the best thing to do is dispute it. Dispute the fact that you owe them any money at all, because what their whole basis of argument is the fact that you've breached a contract you had no knowledge of. It's an implied contract. There is no contract, and it's up to them to prove that you're in breach of it. Now, there was a court hearing in a not too distant past, actually, where a parking company and an individual, a private individual, went to court, and the parking company won. And because of that, what these guys do now when they send their letters out, they put reference to this court case on their letters. It's called setting a precedent, and that's what they try and do, and try and get you to pay it. Now, again, I can't emphasise enough, the burden of proof is on them. As the registered keeper of the vehicle, you're liable for that fine if it's deemed you have to pay it, and you have to show extenuating circumstances. Now, there's a whole list of different avenues which you can take to try and deal with this problem. A link to that I will leave in the description underneath this video. Have it, and it's got letter templates and everything else. Have a good read through it if it applies to you, and then you can see success stories. There's information about the actual ANPR cameras, grace periods, and then template letters, as I said, which you can use to try and help. It's all there. If it's useful content, please share it, spread it around, and we'll try and help as many people as we can with this. The whole idea is to head it off at the pass before it becomes a problem. All right. Anyway, thank you very much. Don't forget, if you're new here and you're just listening to this for the first time, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share it if it's useful. I'll see you with the next one. Toodaloo.